Hi everyone, so if you didn't know, Disneyland Paris are celebrating their 25th birthday, anniversary, celebration. It's all over everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, wherever you look, I'm seeing information about Disneyland Paris right now. And it got me thinking, we do get asked quite a lot if we've been to Disneyland Paris, when are we going to Disneyland Paris, what do we think of Disneyland Paris, and we've kind of mentioned previously before that we've been, but that's kind of where the conversation stopped. So I'm filming this on Thursday, so I thought why not have a little throwback Thursday, even though you will probably be watching this on Friday or maybe a Thursday in the future, and this whole video would be like a throwback, which is kind of get your mind around that. Anyway, so I thought I would go back through the footage I have from my trip and kind of tell you what it was like back in the day when I went to Disneyland Paris. So if you don't know much about Disneyland Paris, it opened in 1992 in France. And to be completely honest, my last trip to Disneyland Paris wasn't that far away from then. I went in 1994 when I was 4 years old. How adorable is that? Little tiny Sarah at being 4 years old. And I'm pretty sure the theme park had literally just changed its name from Euro Disney to Disneyland Paris. That was a thing that happened in 1994. They decided 2 years after opening, just completely changed the name. And I'm okay with that. I think Disneyland Paris is a much better name than Euro Disney. So I'm gonna kind of quickly start off with a kind of a clip of basically the walkway into Disney. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Disneyland Hotel and the little bit of like topiaries in front of it and the path, and it's just, please obviously be aware that the video content is from 1994, so it's not going to be HD, it's not going to be 1080, it's going to be a little bit fuzzy, but I'm really excited because I watched this back the other day and I was like, oh my god, I actually remember some of Disneyland Paris, which is insane considering it was a long time ago. So when we went, we actually stayed on Disney property. We stayed in Davy Crockett's ranch, I believe. I mean, when I was looking it up, that's the kind of resort that looked most like where we stayed. I mean, I'll throw in some clips as well of the resort. It was kind of a log cabin, it was a Disney log cabin. So I'm assuming it was Davy Crockett. I'm not overly sure. We did stay initially in the New York hotel, but I think we had some problems with our room or the pool was closed and they didn't tell us about it or something like that. Anyway, we went down to reception, me and my mum, and basically asked if we could move because we really wanted to go in a pool. And the guy was like, oh, I'm really, really sorry about that. We have a space in the Disneyland Hotel. We won't charge you if you want to stay in the hotel. And me being a stupid child, not really understanding anything, just went, I don't really like the sound of that. And told my mum that I didn't want to stay in the Disneyland Hotel and could we stay somewhere else. And the guy was like, yeah, sure, if you know, Davy Crockett's like free if you want to go there. And I was like, yeah, that sounds something I would like. And adult me is so mad at little me for not staying at the Disneyland Paris Hotel. Like, I'm making a claw hand at myself because I'm so angry at this. Apparently, again, I haven't been since 1994 and I didn't pay for my own way there. Disneyland Paris Hotel is pretty expensive and it's pretty nice. And me as a kid was like, nah, not feeling it, which is ridiculous. Like, why? Anyway, so I don't really do many rides at 4, as you can imagine. I did a few. I did Thunder Mountain, which was the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life as a 4-year-old. Space Mountain hadn't even been built yet. Wrap your mind around that. The last time I was at Disneyland Paris, Space Mountain didn't even exist. I'm pretty sure it was like the year after that it actually opened. Also, the Eurostar didn't go to Disneyland Paris. It wasn't a thing that took you to Disneyland Paris. You had to get there some other way, which again is like crazy because I've always seen Disney advertise you can get there on the Eurostar and it's really easy, which is kind of crazy to me. So what do I kind of remember? One of the biggest things I remember was how cool the outside of Pirates of the Caribbean is, and I'm pretty sure that it's still just as amazing now. It's got like the massive like skull and it just looks really, really cool. So I think I've got some footage of that as well. I'm kind of just throwing in what I think were really cool representations of Disneyland Paris and what I remember, because the things I'm showing you are like the snippets that I really do remember. I also think this is a great opportunity to mention how amazing all of our hair and clothes was in 1994. So this is a little bit more of a view from one of the hotels that we kind of went in for lunch. Again, I'm not really sure where we were because I haven't been to Disneyland Paris literally in so long that if someone can tell me where the heck that restaurant was, that would be really helpful. So yeah, as I said, we stayed in the New York hotel. I didn't really rate it that much at the time. And I really liked the Davy Crockett one. It was kind of, it reminds me of what Fort Wilderness is like in Disney World. It's got that kind of vibe of you kind of set away in your own little log cabin. And it was really nice. I went with my mum, my nan and my aunt and my cousin. And we just had a really great time. This is one of my favorite souvenirs I got from Disneyland Paris, and I've actually since bought one again in Disney World, and that is the Mickey Mouse umbrella with the ears on top of the umbrella. Best thing ever. I don't even know if they still sell them because when I went in 2011 we really struggled to find one. I think someone had to go out the back to get them. I need to really dig that out because that is a really cool umbrella to use like on the daily, I think. I do remember quite a lot of similarities between Disneyland Paris and Disney World. Obviously some of the rides are the same, like Pirates of the Caribbean, It's a Small World. The only thing I really remember is that most of it was French. I can't even remember in 1994 if they did much English subtitles or English dubbing of things. I don't know what it's like now, but I really remember everything being in French. Like there's a show we watched, like a stage show. I think it was in Fantasyland. And I remember it had really cool characters dancing to songs from Haunted Mansion. You had Minnie in like a salsa dress. And none of it was in English. But that didn't really matter because I was just really enjoying watching it all happen and things like that rather than actually listening to the words, which I guess is cool. That's kind of one thing that has always put me off Disneyland Paris, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong. Is everything in English now, like as well as French, or is it still just in French? Because I speak a little bit of French, but like honestly I don't think I could follow a full attraction in French. That would just completely throw me. Now I also know that recently everyone's been going on about the parades in Disneyland Paris, and from what I remember the parade was incredible. It was really brightly coloured. I think we went in January or around that time because we used to go to Florida or Disney quite a lot around my birthday, which is in January. And it was like amazing. Everyone interacted, everyone was really happy. You could always pretty much get a seat. It was busy, but I remember it not being that busy. Like you didn't have to wait like an hour or two beforehand to get a seat and see the parade. Everyone was themed. Even like the people that walked with the parade were themed. They had like pirates jackets on and stuff. And I guess that's maybe what land they worked in. I can't really remember, but it was really, really, really cool. Another thing that I think is really strange to me about Disneyland Paris is the castle. I'm so used to now the like silvery white grey Walt Disney World castle, and in Paris it's like pink. I think it's Sleeping Beauty's castle. I forget whose castle's whose. Oh, I think Sleeping Beauty's Disneyland California, well, like Disneyland. Then Disney World is Cinderella, and then Sleeping Beauty? I don't remember. And it's pretty cool. And actually, I really like in Fantasyland, they have a beanstalk that kind of goes up and it looks like it goes into the sky. Again, I don't know if that's still a thing, but that's one thing I vividly remember from a kid being like, that's amazing. And when I went to Florida for like, I think I went to Florida like 2 years after this, I remember looking for this beanstalk, being like, where's the beanstalk? This isn't cool. And in Paris, you can actually climb up into the castle. I remember being on the upper level looking down, and you can't do that in Florida. So there's kind of a few things that are a little bit different. Overall, I remember having a really great time, and as a kid it was so much fun to just be able to get on a plane or a train-ish, probably multiple trains at the time, to Paris and go to Disneyland. Is it somewhere I would go again as an adult? I won't say never, but I'm not going to say anytime soon. Although the 25th anniversary celebrations look incredible, I just, in my heart of hearts, don't think Disneyland Paris is for me. I really enjoy everything about going to Florida, not just the parks, but being in Florida. And I think California would be really cool, and also really want to do Tokyo. And when I think of the cost of a week in Disneyland Paris or 4 or 5 days in Disneyland Paris, I always come back to, I would rather put that money aside and have it to go to Florida with, or to Tokyo, or to California. So that's kind of the main reason that we haven't been back to Disneyland Paris. It's nothing personal, like I think I would enjoy it. I just don't know, you know, I don't know. But reliving all this footage has definitely really made me very nostalgic, and it's kind of cool. As I said, it's like a time capsule of 1994 Disneyland Paris, and it's crazy as we're about to go into their 25th year, or we're in their 25th year, that it's kind of, there's some things that I see from other people's vlogs now that look really familiar, and there's some things that I just do not recognise at all. Like they've got the whole new Hollywood Studios thing going on there, or Disney Studios. I thought this would be a great opportunity just to share with you some of my, I say old vlogs, but we're not really talking at the camera in these ones, old school family videos of my trip to Disneyland Paris. And if you liked this, let me know. I have actually converted quite a few videos from when I went to Florida as well as a kid. When we went as our friends, we've got footage. So let me know if you kind of like the little reminiscing videos, going down memory lane, having a look at what these theme parks were like back in the day, because this was a while ago. What was it, 23 years? And that makes me feel really old. I'm still older than Disneyland Paris. I really don't have anything to gauge this to, so it'd be really great to hear what you guys think of the footage, what you notice is different, what you notice is the same, because I really just don't know right now what's there. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Thank you for watching this video. Really hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not subscribe to our channel? You can also check out one of our other videos that should be on screen right about now.